From the Kellogg's Air Sports Complex, field number 7. This is the Las Vegas Premier Invitational from the Summerlin section of Vegas. So sit back, relax, and take in this girls under 11 match between La Roca Premier and Corona United G98. Let's get the lineups for both teams. First, for Corona United G98, the coach is Larry Dubé, and the manager is Sally Gelbach. And number 1 will be Jenna Heatherly. Number 2 will be Emily Gelbach. Number 3 is going to be Kirsten Shehad. Number 4 is going to be Trina Jimenez. Number 5 is Jada Talley. Number 7 is Elon Moore. Number 8 is Victoria Rice. Number 10 is Day Lockett. Number 12 is going to be Jessica Micklot. Number 13 is Hannah Erickson. Number 14 is Brianna Fatton. 16 is Raven Sweeney. 21 is Riley Haynes, and she'll be the keeper today. And number 24 is Darian Reed. Now let's get the lineup for the La Roca Premier. At keeper, it's going to be Cheyenne Jones, number 15. Number 1 is Destiny Jimerson. Number 3 is Allie Alcott. Number 4 is Eva Reese. 6 is Marcy Daines. Number 7 is Ellie McGuire. 8 is Bailey Winter. Number 9 is Cassidy McCormick. 11 is Quincy Loftus. 12 is Madison Himmelwright. 17, Tessa Feet. 20, Courtney Wayment. 23, Jordan Gresham. 41, Amber Marshall. 71 is Lulu Borges. And they are coached by Lyman Houston. And the assistant coach is Kim Winter, with the team manager being Ann Jones. We'll be back with the starting of this match in just a moment. From the Kellogg's Air Sports Complex again, and we are about ready to get started in this girls under 11 bracket game here. The first one of the morning, La Roca Premier out of Utah and Corona United G98. And we are underway. And on the near side, Corona United with it. There is Jada Talley, and Talley going to the interior, and then now there's McGuire. McGuire pushing a long ball up forward for Madison Himmelwright, and on the near side, that ball goes out of play. Just the starting of the match here at the Kellogg's Air Sports Complex, and again, this is the Las Vegas Premier Invitational. And you hear a little bit of the wind going. In this valley, that wind can get kicking up, and it could, as you see people being bundled up there, can really kind of bring the weather and make it quite cold. Off the header. That ball headed toward the 18-yard box. It goes out of play. And it'll be a throw-in. So throw-in for Corona United. The G98 squad, and their keeper, as you see there, that's Riley Haynes from the 6-yard box, trying to get that ball up to Talley, and Talley wasn't able to get to it. Well, got to it, but knocked it out of play on the near side touchline. And now here is a pass toward the against the wind. That's as you see the ball hanging up there. Now in the central, La Roca pushing the ball back and wide now as they try and get their offensive attack going. Pushing it all the way up toward the 18-yard box, and they can't get a runner onto it, and so it is going to be a goal kick. 0-0 the score in the match. I'm Greg G.K. Porter for Langevin Productions. And again, you can see us on YouTube. If you don't go to our website, You can see us, Langevin Productions, in the search category of YouTube, and a lot of the videos are there. But we welcome you to go to the website, GLP, George Langevin Productions, and you will see pictures of the different broadcasters and some of the other accoutrements that go with the original website. Ball knocked out of play on the near side touchline. La Roca Premier going to throw it in again, and they've thrown it in a few times from the near side. La Roca Premier trying to get that ball into the 18-yard box, see what they can do with it, but they could not that time. It goes out of play, and past the goal line, it'll be a long goal kick. Just the first 3 or 4 minutes gone in the match. 0-0. Going to be a throw-in on the near side. Lulu Borges getting a touch. Borges tried to direct that ball up to a teammate, but it didn't get there and went out of play. Ball, or the wind is going in like a diagonal across the field. And on the near side, La Roca Premier trying to keep it in. That was Destiny Jimerson, but couldn't do it. As Corona United, they throw it in. Jada Talley throwing it in. And she was looking for a teammate on the near side. And that was Victoria Rice. Talley gets more real estate and will look for Rice again. Rice trying to get to the soccer ball that goes out of play on the near side. And it'll be a throw-in. Throw-in for Corona United, G98 here at the Kellogg-Zaire Complex. Field number 7 this morning. And touching it there is Cassidy McCormick in her own deep back. And pushing it up to Waymont, Courtney Waymont. And now to the wide side, chasing it down. You see there is Allie Alcott. And a touch there by Marcy Daines. Cross midfield, and now they get another touch. Pushing it up forward to Alcott. And it goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in from the defensive half of Corona United. Here in the 5th minute of the match. Play 30-minute halves, and that ball rolls harmlessly over to the keeper for Corona United, and again, that's Riley Haynes. Haynes off of a bounce. Strike there by McGuire, and an offsides call. 0-0 your score. Free kick. Corona United, 98, G98. Here in the Las Vegas Premier Invitational. Across midfield to Talley, but Talley couldn't get to it. Not without an effort there, and of course, dealing with the wind. Going to play some tricks with the ball. You got 2 players there for La Roca, and then 1 in support, and she wins it. Borges on a long ball, looking for somebody to run onto it, but that's not going to happen as it had too much pace on it. Haynes going off to her left, and it's met there by Reed. Reed, her teammate, pushing it across midfield, and then it goes back in their own half. And now they have to retreat back and try to win the soccer ball. They do. And now in the central, they had Rice, and retreating back in the central and pushing that ball upfield. Rice, Victoria Rice in the area, and La Roca being able to win it and push it back into the defensive half again. So La Roca Premier keeping here in the last minute or so. Corona United bottled up in their own half of the field. Chasing it down there, you see Shihad Kirsten. 0-0 your score in the match. In this girls under 11 bracket play match in the 8th minute of the first half. Ball sent up forward, but La Roca Premier intercepting and in their attacking third trying to make a play, but they didn't get to connecting the end of the connecting pass from the striker there, and so now it is going to be another goal kick. You see this some little snow on those mountains behind the picture there. Here from the Summerlin section of Vegas. There's a strike now sent into the 18-yard box. Trying to get somebody to run onto it is La Roca Premier, and one of the deep back defenders of the Corona United able to get back there and protect in their own space. A throw in. La Roca Premier again trying to put pressure in the attacking area, but couldn't get the connection to work that time. So again, we are still at a 0-0 scenario in the first half. Into the 9th minute, first half of action. And a goal kick will ensue. Trying to get it out of their own defensive third. They do. Toward the center circle and trying to maintain possession, and they do. And they get a nice run there down the central. And a nice ball. Will the keeper get to it first? And they do, and she gets a piece of it. However, there's another strike, and she blocks that ball, and there's another one toward the back post, but will they have enough real estate to get a player to get it? It's McLott, and here's a strike now, and that one goes awry. So G98, the Corona United club, able to finally get some offensive pressure going, and that ball was moving around like a pinball in a pinball machine, and they just were trying to get that ball in the back of the net. And La Roca Premier playing some good defense as a keeper, making a couple of saves. And that keeper, of course, is Cheyenne Jones. And her defenders making the plays that they need to make to get that ball or keep it out of the back of the net. But here's Corona United again after the ball going out of play on the near side touchline by La Roca. And it goes out again. 0-0 your score in the 11th minute of the first half. And a touch there by McLott. Or rather, that was correction on that one. That was Himmelwright. And it goes all the way down to Cheyenne Jones, Himmelwright's keeper, and she makes the save. Off the header. Lulu Borges, strike up forward towards midfield, but Kirsten Shihad getting to it, but couldn't keep it in the field of play, and a far side touchline will be a throw-in now. Courtney Wayman is taking it, but there's going to be a substitution. If we do not mention the substitutions that by name, we will mention them as they touch that soccer ball, as a lot of clubs like to substitute freely, get fresh players in, and sometimes it's hard to see the numbers that are coming in and out of the action. Again, you're watching GLP. ManagementProductions.com, and that ball into the 18-yard box could be dangerous, and it is, as reaching out to make the save is Riley Haynes, as that ball is rolling right at her, and the striker was only a few feet away. 0-0 is still your score, as both teams have had some chances, and albeit a couple of quality chances to try to get that ball in the back of the net. Goes out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick. Goal kick upfield now. La Roca Premier winning it. Trying to continue an offensive attack. Has it on it now is Himmelwright, and she was dispossessed that time. Himmelwright trying to continue forward there in that 18-yard box, but stiffening up in the deep back for Corona United. On the near side, it'll be a throw-in. The Kellogg's Air Sports Complex. And there is a strike, and right at Riley Haynes, and Riley goes to her knees to make the save. Pretty good strike that time, but Riley stayed with it, able to eye it right there, keep it in front of her, not give up a rebound. And going back the other way on a counterattack, switching her direction is Bailey Winter. Winter still on a soccer ball. Winter looking for a teammate, but she didn't get it. Intercept sent down to midfield. However, on it now is Alcott. Or correction, that was Shihad. Shihad sending it down to left flank. Got a striker there and pushing that ball into central. And a goal! Go, 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 goal! And Corona United now leads 1-0 as a nice coordinated play that time. And they have the first goal of the match. Jada Talley scoring that goal. Beautiful play. And Jada Talley on that back post, putting it into the back of the net. So we have a 1-0 score with about 14 minutes left to go in the first half. So let's see what La Roca can do towards trying to tie it up here in the first half. Ball touched out there by Ellie McGuire. Going to be a throw-in. Corona United throwing it in. And they've got Jenna Heatherly there, who with a touch, but it was knocked out by La Roca. There's a strike there by Wayment. And she tried to get a teammate, Borges, to get it, and now Wayment goes after it. And Courtney's got it again. Courtney stays after it, and it goes back to her teammate. I believe that was McGuire who pushed that ball all the way down the field. Chasing it down now, right now, is Kristen Shihad. And Kristen will retrieve it and get it going again. Her team leading 1-0 on the goal by Jada Talley. Jada Talley scoring it in the about the 14-minute mark of the match.
That's okay, that's okay. We'll get it back. Get it back.
And that ball in the 18-yard box. And a goal! Go, 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 go! La Roca! Madison Himmelwright scoring the goal. So Himmelwright, a nice run down the central, and she puts that ball in the back of the net, and it is 1 apiece. So 1 apiece in this match. Nice job by Himmelwright down the central. And we have a girl with red cleats and a girl with lime green cleats. And both of them have scored, 1 for each team. And here in this girls under 11 match. And there's Heatherly. And she takes a long distance shot, and on a bounce, no problem for Cheyenne Jones.
Settle down.
Jenna Heatherly playing with a protection on her right wrist. Ball goes out of play. Going to be a throw-in now. There's a strike across midfield, and here is Himmelwright again chasing it down, but retreating back is Hannah Erickson. And now running onto it, Amber Marshall, and that ball goes out of play. So it'll be a throw-in in a 1-1 match as we wind our way towards halftime. At about the 20th minute unofficially, center ref keeps the official time. Heatherly now, who pushes that ball up forward, and there was a touch by Brianna Fatton. And a central, and they do get a strike as a La Roca still trying to be tough in the mid section. And they do a fine job of it, and they win it over to Madison Himmelwright. But now running onto it is Bailey Winter, and Winter pushing that ball down toward the attacking third. Amber Marshall there in the space trying to keep that ball from going behind her. And she has it now after the throw-in from Marcy Daines. And there's Destiny Jimerson getting a touch. It goes by Jimerson and onto the foot of the girl who scored the goal for Corona United, and that is Tally. Tally being heavily marked by Ellie McGuire and is knocked out of play. And we'll see if Tally throws it in. But it is in the defensive third for La Roca out of Utah. Greg G.K. Porter, happy to be with you in this Las Vegas Premier Invitational match. In a 1-1 match in this girls under 11 bracket play match. Into the center circle all the way back up the field as La Roca playing good defense. However, now they have to retreat back in their own 18-yard box. But coming off her line is Cheyenne Jones at the top of the 18-yard box. Can't touch it with her hands past the box, and she was able to get to it. And back the other way on a counterattack, pushing Corona United deep into their own defensive third. And on it now is Eva Reese. Reese drawing it back up the field. And there's a touch by Borges. Now they're going to switch it toward the central, and then it's taken away. And now here is Tally, and you know Tally has some speed. Tally trying to make a move, and she was trying to walk in unabated toward the keeper, and that didn't happen as the defensive positioning there and a nice play by the defender in the space, able to get to that soccer ball and knock it out of play. And not allow Jada Tally to get a turn or to continue on her line towards the keeper. Going to be a throw-in now. Corona United's going to throw it in, and they have Victoria Rice throwing it in on the near side. She was looking for a teammate, Brianna Fatton. It's knocked out of play by La Roca Premier. Rice will throw it in again. Rice looking for Fatton. She never got to it. Jenna Heatherly was trying to get to it. She didn't. And a strike down toward the central. And it's met there by La Roca Premier. And met again as they push it upfield. Trying to make a move was Himmelwright. They being Corona United, win it and push it right back at the defensive third and the keeper. And Cheyenne Jones able to make the save. Cheyenne Jones making the save, has played well in this match. And so is the keeper, Riley Haynes. 1-1 is your score. Of course, in the first half, La Roca has the advantage with the win, and they will not have that advantage in the second half. And I'm sure their coach will make them mindful of that. Probably about 7 minutes left to play here in the first half. And an offsides call. Offsides against Corona United. Destiny Jimerson sending the ball across midfield. Got a couple of players there in the space, but they can't possess it any longer. Dispossessed. Back to midfield. And now that ball onto the wide. They got a runner onto the wide there, and that looks like Tessa Feet. Tessa Feet now pushing that ball toward the central, but it was met by the deep back player there and pushed upfield. And again, they have to strengthen themselves, and they do so in the central, does Corona United. Throw in. And that ball toward the central. La Roca Premier in the defensive half of Corona United. And it goes harmlessly over to Riley Haynes. And that was an offsides call. So free kick for Corona United. Here in the first half, there's but maybe a few minutes left to go in the first half in this 1-1 score. On the near side, trying to maintain possession of it was Bailey Winter. She ran out of real estate with it. The throw in by Corona United. But La Roca Premier getting it back, and Winter throwing it in. Winter into the corner. The ball directed up in the air by the Corona United player in that corner. Winning it all the way up to Fatton. There's a few players for Corona United. That one was Raven Sweeney striking it. And another player in the central, which was Darian Reed, and that ball going all the way with the wind. But it is an offsides call. So not a problem, as it turns out to be, for Riley Haynes. And a strike on a couple of bounces across midfield. And another strike to the far side. But retreating back, La Roca Premier, and winning that ball out of the central and pushing it out of play. Far side touchline. You see there Shihad Kirsten going to throw it in. So Kirsten Shihad throwing it in from the far side touchline. She has Elin Moore now. Moore having a hard time trying to win it and is giving it away. But then her teammate in support pushes it toward the central. But La Roca Premier, they stiffen up in the deep back, pushing it all the way up towards midfield. And now here is Heatherly for Corona United. And now they only have two players in their side of the field, retreating back as the striker putting pressure on the deepest defender back there. On the near side, La Roca Premier trying to keep that ball in the defensive half of Corona United. The one with the geometric designs of one of the world's most famous sport, football in most countries, soccer in this country. Coming out of the match, you saw there was Tessa Feet. She is the only one that's wearing head adornment for La Roca Premier. That is really covering her whole head, not a headband. And a fresh player coming in. And you see here the player for La Roca Premier wearing the headband, and that is Ellie McGuire. McGuire throwing it in. Trying to look for a teammate on the near side. Couldn't find one, and Corona United stealing the soccer ball and heading back the other way on their counterattack, but couldn't continue on even further as Brianna Fatton was on the run there. Had a nice run from her deep back. That ball being knocked out of, as you run off the ball that time, no foul. And it goes out of play in the near side touchline. Again, but moments left to play here in this first half. And ref will be blowing the double whistle soon. And a touch and a strike in the 18-yard box. And it goes out of play past the goal line. So Corona United not really getting a good coordinated play towards the net. Substitutions coming in for Corona United. And they have Jada Talley coming into the match. And also number 12, Jessica Micklot. Talley being number 5. On the strike there, Bailey Winter goes on the foot of Gelbach. Emily Gelbach sending it all the way down, but the keeper's got plenty of time and space. Cheyenne Jones sending it up forward toward that center circle, but it didn't get there as it's intercepted. And back at Cheyenne Jones, and she's able to make the save. All the way up forward now. Trying to get her teammate Bailey Winter to run onto it. She didn't get it. And at midfield, they push it right back into the defensive half of La Roca Premier. However, they win it with Borges. Borges and her teammates pushing it into the defensive half of Corona United in this 1-1 match here in the first half. And that double whistle about to be blown as the center ref looking at his watch. As it's in the defensive half of Corona United. Jada Talley trying on that far side, trying to win it, and does. Pushing it up forward. Victoria Rice a strike. Into central. Off the carom now. And that's Ellie McGuire, but McGuire did not get a real good shot on it. And it goes right past the goal line. As a win, as you hear. And there is the double whistle. We are at the conclusion of the first half of action. Good match so far. Both teams have a goal. And we'll be right back with the second half after you see and hear what the coaches are saying to their players. They get their refreshments. And we'll be right back with the second half of this Las Vegas Premier Invitational. Action set to get underway here in this second half. Left to right. And that's La Roca Premier. And Corona United's going to have the win going from right to left. They won't have to be fighting it like they did in the first half. 1-1 score. Both teams have put one in the back of the net. which team will come out with the winning goal here in this bracket play game. Las Vegas Premier Invitational between Corona United, G98, and La Roca Premier out of the girls under 11 bracket. That ball sent in the 18-yard box, and La Roca Premier trying to get it out of their box. Corona United trying to keep it there. In the space there was Darian Reed, and here's another shot, and it is knocked away. Nicely done, but here's another try at it, and it goes off the side of the net. Fortunately for Cheyenne Jones, the keeper for La Roca, it was played well. And that ball is on the foot of Ellie McGuire, and McGuire pushes it past the far side touchline. And over there is Darian Reed to throw it in. Off of a bounce now. And into the 18-yard box. And Cheyenne Jones able to make the save, and another strike. And Cheyenne Jones covering up. A nice save there. Pushed up field now. And again, as I mentioned, Corona United's going to be able to work with the win here in the second half, and they're already trying to take advantage of it. And that ball goes out of play. Near side touch, or the far side touchline, in a 1-1 match here in the second half, in the 3rd minute of the second half, and that's the 33rd minute of the game. And we'll just go ahead and tally all the minutes up. You play 60 minutes in this particular tournament in his girls under 11 bracket, so we're in the 34th minute of the match. And on that soccer ball now is Gelbach. And it goes back toward the central. And it's going to be a free kick. Emily Gelbach setting it up, and it looks like it's going to be Jada Talley, but it could be Emily Gelbach. Sometimes they set it up, and the player that you think is going to strike it does not do that, but it's Gelbach, and she drives it right at the keeper, and it's a goal! It goes in the back of the net off of a free kick, Emily Gelbach, and it is 2-1. Corona United leads over La Roca Premier. A beautiful high shot, and she got enough trajectory on it, enough strength on that of her foot, and struck that ball with such precision, and it goes into the back of the net. So Gelbach scoring the goal, and Jada Talley for Corona United so far in this match. And Gelbach scoring that goal, scoring it in the 34th minute. So Gelbach scoring it in the 34th minute, and as I mentioned, Talley, she scored it back in the 14th minute, and they lead 2-1. But here is La Roca Premier back down the field, and they get a striker right there and in central of the box, and she could not get the kind of shot on it that she wanted to try to beat Riley Haynes. And a ball now sent upfield. 2-1. Your score in this match. Madison Himmelwright has scored the lone goal for La Roca Premier. Number 12, the far side, trying to get something going here. Himmelwright and company, but now on that soccer ball is Heatherly. Heatherly gave way, though, to Jimerson, And Destiny Jimerson now pushing it to midfield. He's got a teammate there on the far side now. On it is, again, the player that scored, Madison Himmelwright. In the 36th minute of the match. And a ball in the defensive third. It goes out of play. 2-1. Corona United, G98 leading in this match. Trying to hold on to this 2-1 lead and get the win here in the first match of the day. That win gets the kicking up again. Destiny Jimerson with his soccer ball there in the space. Team down by 1. Got lots of time here in the second half, though. Ball at midfield. 37th minute of the match. And now running onto it is Madison Himmelwright, knocking it down. She tried to get a ball up forward, but that didn't work out. They intercepted it, but now they win it, and an offsides call. Going to be a free kick. Again, Corona United working here in the second half with the win. And they took advantage of the win with Emily Gelbach being able to strike that free kick in the back of the net. Borges now driving it out of play. Lulu Borges.
Score, Hannah, score. Come on. Dylan, I'll give you that break right now.
Coming in now, a couple of fresh players, and that is for Corona United. It's going to be number 13, Hannah Erickson, and Raven Sweeney, number 16. On the far side, striking that ball out of play. I believe that was Ellie McGuire striking it out. Borges coming into space, can't get it. McGuire there, and that ball goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Corona United. So Corona United, and actually it was a foul on a play, so they're going to have a free kick. And you know what they did a few minutes back with that free kick, back in the 34th minute of the match, about 4 or 5 minutes ago. As we are now in the 39th minute of the match. Free kick. Corona United trying to make this lead hold up for victory here today. And a strike on the trajectory, low side trajectory, and intercepted in the 18-yard box by La Roca Premier. But here is another strike off of a bounce and giving up a rebound, but she gets it. Cheyenne Jones able to stay with that rebound as she was turning her back towards the strikers and able to stay with that soccer ball in this 2-1 match with Corona United leading. In a space, Raven Sweeney, and a touch, Danes. Ball towards the central. On the foot of Alcott. Strike by Corona United Central. In the deep back, La Roca Premier pushing it up forward. A whistle. Free kick. Jada Talley. Actually, it's going to be a throw-in. Jada Talley going to throw it in. Talley near side. Knocked out of play. Jordan Gresham protecting into space. Throw in. Corona United. Gelbach finds a teammate. Again, that was Day Lockett, and Lockett sending it towards the keeper. It goes past the goal line. Goal kick. La Roca Premier. And La Roca Premier are going to get a couple of fresh players in. Down 2-1 in this match. Lyman Houston's club, along with assistant coach Kim Winter, team manager Ann Jones. Out of Utah. And we see one of the fresh players in. That's Tessa Feet. Remember, she mentioned in the first half has that covering over her head, or a complete head, not a headband. Up the central. One there by Darian Reed. Her pass intercepted. Reed, the header, goes backwards into her own defensive half. Ball swung out to the wide. Trying to get Day Lockett to get to it, but they were offsides. Corona United leading 2-1. Goal in the 14th minute by Jada Talley. And in the 34th minute of the match by Emily Gelbach. And we now are in the 43rd minute of the match. Ball in the central and then winding up to the far side. Corona United in their own defensive third, pushing it up forward. Talley's in the region. Trying to get to it, wins it, strikes it, gets it to her teammate. And she strikes a forward, but quickly, La Roca Premier back into the defensive half of Corona United. And they have it again, and that's Madison Himmelwright in the space, but she's dispossessed. Talley pushing it across midfield, trying to get somebody to run onto it, but coming way off her line. Nicely there was Cheyenne Jones. And Jones pushing, striking that ball and getting a teammate to push it in the central now. And La Roca Premier now has a good look at all the lights there in this stepladder approach here at the Kellogg's Air Sports Complex here in the Summerlin section of Vegas. Goes out of play. Tessa Feet on the near side in that all red head adornment. And the ball goes out of play. The throw in. Off the bounce. Jimerson. In the central. Back across midfield. Looking for a runner is Corona United, and they have one. Out to the wide side. And a service into the 18-yard box. Can they get a subsequent strike? Would have been all dangerous that time, but could not. Talley looking for a teammate there and finds one. That was Elon Moore, and Moore. They got the colorful cleats, do Corona United. Different colors. Retreating back, Victoria Rice, and Rice winning the soccer ball, time and space. Looking for Raven Sweeney, but her pass intercepted. In the space, I should say, on the near side. Corona United got a runner on the near side, and that ball harmlessly rolls over to Cheyenne Jones off the strike. Plenty of time and space off her line to her right. Corona United now still in the defensive half. But getting over there was Destiny Jimerson. Jimerson roving her way over towards the ball, making a fine play And now her teammates can set up defensively as they are down by 1 here in this match. Emily Gelbach, who scored in the 34th minute of the match to take the lead for Corona United. And we are now in the 46th minute of the match. Only play 60 off of a bounce. Borges touching it out of play past the goal line. And it is going to be a corner kick. We haven't seen any corner kicks in the match so far. And if we have, we've only seen, actually we have, there's only been a couple. Emily Gelbach and her team trying to add on to this 2-1 lead here in the second half. The 46th minute. Coming over to try to strike the ball was Wayment, but she's got support there in the deep back of that 18-yard box. Out and around the 6-yard box, pushing it out of play, out of that box. And then now it's out of play, lastly touched out of the field of play by Corona United. Trying to go upfield was Himmelwright. And Madison, who scored the lone goal for La Roca, would love to try to get another one. Only a couple players in the defense in the deep back. Here's a big chance for Corona United, and they're not able to get it past the keeper, Cheyenne Jones. They had a big run that time, and they did not finish on it. Big play. Sigh of relief for the defenders for La Roca. And so now it'll be a throw-in for Corona United. But, boy, they had a big opportunity that time. And Kirsten Shihad comes into the contest on the sub. Gelbach couldn't get to it. Retreating back is Victoria Rice. Rice getting it to a teammate, but pressure there in the space. But it caroms the way of Corona United. However, getting it was La Roca, but, of course, Himmelwright was offsides there. Free kick now for Corona United, and as plays like that go on, it only helps out Corona United. 48th minute of the match. Getting down close to the last 10 minutes of the match. The throw-in by Gelbach. Push back upfield to the interior, but got teammates there. And Talley trying to run onto it. Talley couldn't get to it. And La Roca pushing it there getting to it was Himmelwright. And the foul going against the player that Himmelwright was trying to get that soccer ball. And it is going to be a free kick. Destiny Jimerson. Jimerson now pushing it upfield. In the space. Winning is La Roca. Out to the wide. Trying to get somebody to run onto it, and they have an opportunity here as the keeper comes off her line. And the defender is able to play it. Amber Marshall nearly had a big, huge play. But the defender was able to get back there before Amber could make the big play on a keeper. Retreating back is Gelbach. Her pass intercepted, but they get it back. Corona United. Still 2-1. Corona United in white and blue leading in this contest over the red and white of La Roca Premier. The ball goes out of play. On the near side, it'll be a throw-in. Corona United in the corner. And that ball is going to go out of play. Time running out here in the match as we are now at the 41st minute of the match. 41st minute of the match, and here's a corner kick. and it is going to be a problem that time. Up the field, here's Himmelwright. Himmelwright now. Himmelwright trying to make a turn, but they won't allow her to do it. And it goes out of play. So it'll be a throw-in. It was an offsides call, and I said there'll be a problem that time. They, Corona United, a little aggressive that time on their attempt. And so now as a Roca Premier coming down the field, and here they're going to throw it in. Amber Marshall throwing it in, trying to get somebody into space to maintain the soccer ball. Wayman is there in the space, and that ball is stopped and sent down toward the 18-yard box, trying to get a runner against the wind, and helping out is that wind to break that ball down and give Corona United an opportunity to get to the soccer ball and then push that ball back the other way. It'll be a throw-in. La Roca Premier going to have to work against the wind, and they're starting to work against time now, as it is the 42nd minute of the match. I take that back. I meant to say the 52nd minute of the match. Now the 53rd minute of the match. About maybe 7 minutes left to go. Looks like Corona United again is going to bring fresh players in. The head coach, Mr. Dubé, Larry Dubé, bringing them in. And we'll mention them as they touch that soccer ball. Going to be a throw-in now. And that's Raven Sweeney. Sweeney now toward the 18-yard box. Her teammates leading 2-1, trying to make it stand up for a victory in his first game of the day. Bracket play. Very chilly with the wind, making it chillier than it would normally be. And it has been blowing all this morning in this match, giving one team or the other the advantage. In the first half, it was the advantage of the Corona United club. In the second half, or I should say it was in the advantage of the Roca Premier Club, and in the second half, it's in the advantage of Corona United. And they have gotten that goal here in the second half. Emily Gelbach off that free kick back in the 34th minute. And we are now in the 54th minute of the match, unofficially. Center ref there in yellow and black keeps the time. Down toward the 18-yard box. They can't afford to give up a goal. And that ball is knocked out of play at the last moment by the center defender. Nice job done by the central defense, and that's what you need in this 2-1 match. The visitors from Corona, California, here against the Utah visitors here in Vegas. Summerlin section of Vegas, about northeast of the downtown Las Vegas Strip. From the near side touchline, knocked out again by La Roca Premier. Who's going to prevail in his girls under 11 match with maybe but 4 minutes left in it? Going to be a strike from the near side, a corner kick. They do the short kick, strike into the 18-yard box, trying to get another strike. Dropping it back, and they drop it back to Gelbach, and Gelbach goes way high and over the fence. And so now it is going to be a goal kick. But that eats up time off the clock. Works in the favor of Corona United. And the coaching staff going to get a couple fresh players into the contest for La Roca Premier. Where's La Roca? Written across their jerseys there. In white on those red jerseys. In the attacking area for Corona United, and that's not what the girls of La Roca Premier want. They want them out of there. But they're working against time now. Just but a few minutes left to go. 57th minute. You see the parents who have, and the family members who have had to brave this cold here this morning. All bundled up. Trying to stay close to each other, keep that warmth going. On the near side. That ball driven toward the central. Intercepted by La Roca Premier. Up toward the center of the field, but brought right back in their own defensive, toward their defensive third. It goes out of play. Throw in. Now it is going to be a throw in for La Roca Premier. Off of Jessica Micklot. And knocked out of play. Down to but a couple minutes left to go in this match. Substitutions coming in. On the near side. Going to be a throw-in. Day Lockett is throwing it in. It goes off of Jessica Micklot. La Roca Premier. Got players there in the space. They want to get some runners going down up the field. But Corona United making it kind of tough for them as they're able to win it and go back the other way and push them back in their own half of the field. It's what they don't want to be. Lulu Borges. Borges pushing it out wide, trying to get her teammate to run onto it. That's Eva Reese. Reese over there. It goes out of play. Can't handle it. And so Corona United would maybe ticks left on the clock. A minute and a half or so left to go. Knocked out by Ellie McGuire. Trying to protect the space to the far side touchline. And that ball pushed up forward. Jimerson was chasing it down, didn't get to it. Now she's got a teammate in the central. Another in the central, but stopped there by Darian Reed. But coming into the space there was Danes. And it'll be a foul against Corona United. Maybe one big last chance as they try to push it down the field, down the central. On the foot of Jenna Heatherly. Heatherly stopping it and bringing it out. La Roca Premier winning it. Trying to, again, push forward toward the attacking third. They have players there winning the soccer ball. And in the attacking third now, still going forward, right there at the keeper. But Riley Haynes able to make the save. So they did get a shot at Haynes again in this match. They hadn't had one in a while. And in the center circle, Corona United winning it and pushing them back in their own defensive third. They've got a runner down to central. And with a chance there, but being marked by Borges. Borges again, standing tall into space. Playing well in that central defense in that particular sequence, and it goes out of play. And this time not working in the favor of La Roca Premier. As center ref will be looking at his watch, as he's doing right now. And a CK for Corona United. And they are the squad that is leading 2-1. Will the 34th minute goal, and it does, hold up. Corona United winning this match by a score of 2-1 as the goal by Emily Gelbach holding up in the 34th minute, along with Jada Talley's goal in the 14th minute, able to win in this match 2-1 as Madison Himmelwright scored the lone goal for La Roca Premier. In this bracket play match, the first one of the day, we hope you enjoyed all the action here at the Kellogg-Zaire Sports Complex. And good action in the girls under 11, and we wish both of these two teams a good tournament as they just get it underway this morning under a lot of wind here at Kellogg-Zaire. I'm Greg G.K. Porter for Langevin Productions saying take care of yourself, God bless, and as always, save this one on the hard drive. Bye now.